30 Miles Out gear is here. Check it out at 30milesout.com.
Take one, Calcasieu Marsh.
You're watching 30 Miles Out Kayak Fishing TV with your host, Sutherland. Can I get a what? This episode of 30 Miles Out is brought to you by Mariner Sales, Wind and Paddle Sports, Yak Attack because we fish, Right On Trailer Company, Rattletrap, Smith Optics, The Fish Grip, get your best grip, the Backwater Paddle Company, maker of the Assault, and by Hook One.
Hey everybody, today we're going to be traveling to Lake Charles, Louisiana in the southwest corner of the state. Founded in 1861 with a population of 74,000. There's lots of petrochemical stuff going on here and lots of gaming and tourism. I lived in Lake Charles twice for a total of 6 years, and I loved all the inland saltwater fishing. That's Lake Charles we're crossing right now. It's brackish, you got specks and redfish in the middle of town. Lake Charles is 34 miles from the Gulf of Mexico, and there's salt water all the way up to I-10 that you can see right here. Why is that? The ship channel. You can see it running due south to the Gulf of Mexico. It's about 40 feet deep, and it sucks in the salt water from the Gulf and brings it all the way up to I-10. 2 miles north of I-10, they actually have a saltwater barrier to keep the salt water out of the freshwater swamps.
I told you what, you best not stop at Loch Charlotte and not got you a crawfish A2-face stuffed potato like that. What?
Today we're going to be fishing with Wes Higgins from the Rattletrap Company. We're going to hit Choupique Bayou, just south of town. Well, look who I ran into at the boat launch. It's Wes from Rattletrap. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening? When we're in the marsh, the shallow water, a lot of times we go to these little mini traps in the 1/4 ounce. It's a new color called cotton candy craw. I think it might do good here around the shrimp and everything. And chrome, we really favor the gold chrome, but mainly all 1/4 ounce and 1/2 ounce. And these will sit all the way up on the surface of the water, kind of tail up, and you can bring it down about a foot or so, or if you keep your rod tip up, you can just wake it right under the surface in these really shallow marsh waters. So.
Let's hit the marsh in South Louisiana and see what we can't do with Wes from Rattletrap. Right, Theresa?
Yeah.
You wake yet?
No. Get out of my face.
First time in the new 2015 Outback, y'all. These seats are going to be amazing. What do you think, Wes? Can you make it happen? One free pedal for every 10 pedals with this new Mirage drive. This was my first run in the 2015 Outback. I was impressed with the seat, the floor, the layout. To me, this is kind of like an Outback Pro Angler hybrid, perfect for my style of fishing.
This time of year, as the water starts cooling off, we'll start fishing the drop-offs and edges, and maybe some of the little deeper holes. As the day warms up, the fish will migrate up into the edges and shallows. But right now, the water temperature's dropped off enough that those fish are going to be down a little lower in the water column. There's a point down here where the bayou turns and goes back north. There's a nice point there in the drop-off. It's just like fishing for bass on a drop-off on a point. And with the current flowing, it'll bring bait out. And you can set up right there and catch trout, speckled trout, redfish. So it's just a mixed bag of species you can pick up in here. We got back and we fished right here in front of us, and we limited out just right here. It was just a crazy day to down on trout, just right there.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's limit out on something.
And
oh, throwing soft plastics. It didn't take Morse long to hang his first flounder. Bumping soft plastics on bottom.
Calcasieu parish flatfish. Yeah, bumping plastics off the bottom in these little old marsh cuts. There.
That's a Cajun halibut.
That's right. That's nice. Probably 17, 18 inch flounder.
Heck yeah, man. Woo!
Stuffed with some blue crab meat.
Now
Put
you
in
talking.
the oven and baked. And
that's business right there. Make you slap your mama.
right.
Whole family.
That's awesome. Got a fish grip in the lip.
Fish on again. I can't get away from Morris for him hanging fish.
Ooh, it's a nice red. Floating rattletrap. You still on the grass line?
Gold floating trap's doing the trick in the marsh. We can throw it up against the marsh grass, and even at only 1 or 2 feet, it stays high in the water column.
Yeah, baby.
And there's that floating trap, proving to be deadly in this marsh.
I ain't pulling no treble hooks today. Look at that thing. Wow, that's a beauty.
Pretty red.
Floating.
Floating trap.
On the bank line.
The grass and the stuff up close to the bank where these fish hang out sometimes. Because a regular rattle trap, you're just going to be pulling grass all the time.
After watching Morris catch a couple fish, I had to catch something. This little cut right here looked perfect.
There he is.
Yep, I knew something was in that cut.
He's up in my top water. Oh no, pool out of it. Look at here, look at here, look at here, look at here. Get a walk. I knew there was one in there, y'all. I saw him chasing bait. Yeah, when it comes to treble hooks, you want to make sure you use a fish hook. Look at there. Nice solid. There we go. Little unlegal dude. He ain't too big. 18 or so. And my pliers out. Fishing Calcasieu Marsh, y'all. Bam. While I was out here at Calcasieu Parish, Louisiana, catching redfish in the marsh. Love it. All right, let's do it again. Going back. And scene. You know, it's really cool at home. We don't ever get to fish for redfish and specks and stuff. And dense vegetation and trees and stuff. So we got a windbreak here. It's pretty awesome. Teresa's hung up in the marsh grass. Where are we, folks? We are just south of Sulphur, Louisiana, close to Lake Charles, just before the Intercoastal Canal. There was a kayak launch we put in, and we are in a pipeline canal right now, just working rattle traps and top waters and seeing what we can't find. Got a couple redfish down and 1 flounder so far, so we'll see what else happens.
Oh, what you got? 30 miles out, we'll be right back.
Been talking to Wes for years on the telephone, never getting to fish together or meet. Let's get with Wes and see what's going on at the Rattletrap Company.
All right, Wes Higgins here from Rattletrap. I'll tell you a couple of things that are real effective in the marsh, as everywhere. Chrome. You can never go wrong with the chrome colored Rattletrap. Down here in South Louisiana, we have a lot of stained water. It's kind of murky, especially when the wind's blowing like today, so I like to brighten it up with some chartreuse. Another thing that's real effective in this off-colored water is the gold chrome. We really like that in this darker water. So we do that, and the regular Rattletrap's really great from 2 to 5 feet. But when we get in the shallow water, what we're doing is we're going to the floating model. It'll have a little small emblem on the side of it. That one has a K. See, this one knocks. It's a knocking trap. That's another newer item we came out with in the past couple of years. And it's good too for the low pitch when the redfish are feeding on that. But the floater, it's going to stay up in the water column. The tail's going to rise to the surface like that. So you can rip it down in short bursts and it'll kind of slowly rise to the surface. Or you can just do a steady retrieve and just keep it right under the surface. But in this 1 to 2 foot, really shallow marsh type water, that floating trap's deadly.
And deadly it is. Wes found the big reds with that floating trap right after I got off the water. I see a lot of applications for big speckled trout as well. Great suspension bait. Great shallow water bait for reds.
Yeah. A lot of applications for this thing right here, man. It's also suspension bait. Check this out. It rises to the top, you drag it, it rises to the top. It says floater on it. Bam!
Here's a little bit of floating rattle trap in action. You know, while all this stuff is going on, I'm often finding myself asking, where is Theresa? Oh, there she is, way back there doing her own thing. Of course, she's back there throwing gulp, bumping it on the bottom, picking up redfish and flounder. If Theresa's not throwing topwater, you can be sure she's throwing a curly tail gulp with a 1/4 ounce jig head. And as you can see here, it does damage for her. I've been throwing a gold floating rattle trap for a good while, and I just switched to my topwater when this happened.
There's gotta be something up in here, y'all. Some kind of old boat dock. Cut off the intercoastal. We're not far from the intercoastal. Just looks pretty. Oh! Oh, shoot!
I was lifting the plug out of the water when he smacked it, and just as I was about to raise it up for the last time, he smacked that last treble hook. What an exciting hit!
Oh! Oh! Holy mackerel, I think I got it on camera. He followed it to the boat. Oh man, fish of the day, fish of the day. He followed it to the boat. That was funny, that was awesome. That was so awesome.
If you never caught a redfish, bring your bass tackle to the coast and catch one. They are aggressive.
Oh, the camera was rolling too. Ah, yeah, where's my fish reel? Beautiful scenery. Oh, he's still green. Got his mouth pinned shut. Mouth pinned shut. Let's do it old school. Love it. Man, what do we got here? Nice chunky red. Follow my plug from that dock all the way to the boat. Boom! Y'all saw it, man. Y'all saw it right here. I'm 30 miles out, right at the kayak. Bam! Pows! There we go. Cockatoo Parish redfish. Gonna let him go. He's just done illegal. He might be right at legal. He's spunky as all get out. Oh, fishing. I ain't done yet. What?
You know, they don't call it Sportsman's Paradise for no reason. Fishing in South Louisiana is amazing. The abundance of wildlife, fish, shrimp, crab, everything. There's just a lot of it. You know, we grew up talking about sinking a boat with fish, literally. And I mean, I've caught 40 or 50 redfish in a day. I've seen hundreds of specks caught in a day. There's a lot of fish down here, y'all.
Yep, we made it back. I'd like to thank Mariner Sales for hooking us up with these awesome 2015 Outbacks. These things are off the chain.
Hey, if you'd like to travel to Lake Charles, Louisiana and hit Choupique Bayou, I'd start with the Lafayette Kayak Fishing Club. Give them a shout online. I'm sure they'll help you out any way they can.
Spoils, Choupique Bayou. Not too shabby, huh?
Not too bad. Doesn't include the ones that we turned back or we tagged.
True.
30 Miles Out would like to send a special thanks to Wes from Rattletrap and to all the 30 Miles Out sponsors.
I'm tired. You've been watching 30 Miles Out. We'll catch you next time. Louisiana boy. Stop, lady.
Oh, you don't like that?
No, it's
Oh,
like...
you don't like that.